yesterday I had great pleasure in chatting to Richard Bailey. Richard's worked with some incredible people, including Johnny Nash, Jeff Beck, Steve Winwood, and Incognito, just to name a few. So I hope you enjoy the interview. And also, if you're on Facebook, do check out my live video with him that we recorded yesterday at Bell Percussion, where we went around. I followed him around the shop really, and we had some fun. So the link is below, but if you check out Drum Quest on Facebook, you'll find it. So thank you so much for watching, and may I present to you the legend that is Mr. Richard Bailey. Okay, Richard, thanks so much for coming and
it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, asking me.
Yeah, I am very excited to talk and ask you lots of questions, but if I could begin with just how old were you when you began the drums, and what and why?
Okay, memory serves me right. I was around 8 or 9 years old, and what happened was my brother was a musician and he played in a band. And I lived in a house on this street, and in the other street, that's where the band practiced. So our houses backed onto each other. And the band had 2 brothers like us, one older who played with my brother, and a younger guy, David Boothman, and myself. So I used to climb the house and just hang out there. But I wasn't playing yet, but the equipment was there. Yeah, I was watching. So one day I was in the band room, and my sister, elder sister, she got on the drums and played. She just played a beat, like. So,
wow.
So being a young, precocious little boy, so if she could do that, I can do it. So I did. I just got on the drums and I did it. So and that was it. So that's how I remember starting. And then I don't remember practicing. Well, I remember listening to records like Take 5, Dave Brubeck, and with 2C drums, stuff like that. But I didn't have a drum kit. But then at some point we actually did a gig because my brother played Hammond organ.
Right, yes.
And my friend David Boothman, he also played keyboards. So they had a concert at this theatre in Trinidad, Queen's Hall. And we actually did a gig. We had a band with David on keyboard, myself. And as I said, I must have been 9. That's the first gig I remember doing.
Wow.
Right, so but I don't remember practicing or playing, so I don't know how we did it.
So you just got up there and you.
Well,
and
we must have done, but I don't remember. Yeah,
did
yeah.
Did you love it? And
oh yeah, of course I loved it.
And you thought, is that at that age? Did you think, right, I'm doing this?
No.
So you just thought.
No, I just liked it and I did it, and then after that we moved house, and then my brother started his own band. And then, so the equipment was around. So I used to play percussion, I used to play the drums. They used to do a sort of weekly gig, and I used to actually play a song on bass, Coming Home Baby, boom, 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 just play that on bass. Wow. So I was just around music,
yeah.
But I was into drums. And then finally I got a drum kit for Christmas, right? I got a little drum kit. So by that time I was like 10, getting on a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah. So I got the kit, and again, I used to do. I used to actually perform with my brother with just Hammond organ and drums.
Wow.
We did a show at a school, and we did some TV shows as well. Just the 2 of us playing on bluesette. A waltz.
Yeah.
So that's how I basically started playing, just by being around equipment and band and but it's not that I decided this is what I'm doing. I was just around it and played and liked it.
Right, because you were very young when a lot of things started to happen in your career. So you were playing, and then by the age of, what were you doing at, say, 15?
Well, I left school at 15. I was in London.
Yeah.
At 12 we moved to London, and I went to school, supposed to me to get my education, but then I started realizing, well, I want to do music. So I decided I was going to leave at 15 against my parents' wishes, But that's what I wanted to do because, while at school, well, for the first few years again, I had no drums.
Yeah.
So I used to do breakbeat, and I used to sing with my mouth. What they're doing now, I used to do that, walk into school, stuff like that, just practicing. And then my brother came over later. Then I got to start playing on weekends. He would be jamming in pubs, wherever, Walthamstow, around the place, Great Portland Street, so I'd start going and jamming. And then he joined Osibisa,
Yes.
the Afro rock group. So I was around like Wendell Richards and all those guys. So I'd be playing with them, jamming with them, and recording.
Yeah, Dell's awesome because he's a friend. I know Dell, and I've had the opportunity on rare occasions to jam with him. Yeah, amazing musician.
Yeah, so just being around good musicians and slowly started playing. And then, as I said, while at school, I was also an athlete. I was very fast. I was Southern England champ for 100 meters. My dad, him being an Olympic medalist, he was saying, "Oh, why don't you do that? You should stay on and do that." Which, while I was at school, I did it. I also ran for YMCA. Wow. But once I left school, that stopped. Because when you're in school, everything's organized. Unless I joined a club, like Highgate Harriers or Middlesex or whatever, one of those sporting clubs, then you'd carry on running. But I left school. And even when I won the 100 meters Southern England 15 to 17-year-old age group, I was 15 at the time, running against 17-year-olds. And also the night before, I was up until 5 in the morning at the club.
Oh my goodness!
I got there late. When I got there, when I arrived, it was at Crystal Palace. When I arrived at Crystal Palace, I was supposed to meet the team at Victoria to go there. I was late. I arrived at Crystal Palace because I was in the 200 as well.
Oh.
And I arrived for the 200. As I arrived at the track, they were already on the lining up. So I went straight, no warm-up, straight into the 200. And I nearly won it. I came third, right?
After that night?
Yeah, after being out all night. So, and again, I was 15, they were 17. I was in the lead, but at the end they caught me.
Oh
right?
My goodness. That is bonkers. Running and drumming. Now, were there similarities? Did you work harder at one? Did you need to work harder at one than the other?
No, I mean, running again was a natural thing. I was just fast coming from the Caribbean when I was just very, very athletic. Yeah. Football, I was at everything, but yeah, I was just fast. So they ended up, once they realized that, that's what I did. They didn't let me do football. They didn't let me do it. I was a runner. That's what I did, So, and drumming, again, it was just natural.
Yeah.
As I said, I started, when I got here, then Buddy Rich. I started listening to Buddy Rich. I got his book and a practice pad and started practicing the rudiments. Also at school, I did a couple of flute lessons. So that introduced me to musical notes, like eighth notes, quarter notes, stuff like that. So, and then with the rudiments, Buddy Rich book, rudiments, snare drum rudiments, then I start, not read, but just at least work out stuff like that,
So obviously I've got to ask about the whole blow by blow, okay?
Right.
So you were how old when you got...
I was around 18 around that time, 18.
How did you get, how did you get that?
Okay, well, once I started playing, as I said, I left school at 15, started a band, Oja, or was in a band. I didn't start it, but I was in a band, an original band, Oja, playing similar stuff to OCB, Afro rock stuff. So we started playing. We went to Mallorca for 8 weeks, came back. I'll go through the whole story quickly.
Yeah.
So went to Mallorca, came back, and then just started, around town, gigging with bands like Gonzalez, which was it was a band with all the top session players at the time, whether it be the horn section or the rhythm section, it was all the top players. So I met guys like Phil Chen, bass player, who played on Blow by Blow as well. He also, Rod Stewart, lots of stuff. And through that, you just start meeting people. Just started playing with different people, Gonzalez. And then Max Middleton was also on the scene. You do sessions with them. So Phil and Max were already playing with Jeff. So they started this album, I think, with Carmine. And then, I don't know, for whatever reason, Jeff wasn't happy or whatever. They wanted a different drummer. So straight away, Philip Chen, Max Middleton suggested me. So we went along, arranged a rehearsal, which was basically an afternoon jam down in South London somewhere. Had the jam, and then that was it. A week later, we were recording. And the recording was the same. We recorded the tracks in basically a week, Monday to the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, every day. And and just each day we went in and did the track. Some tracks we did without Jeff because he was often late.
As a lot of musicians are.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff. Well, some of them we just as a 3-piece recorded, and he'd come in and do it. And all of it was live. All of them were like first, second takes, and it was very spontaneous. It wasn't worked out. Nothing was worked out. Nothing. No one told me what to play, what to do. You just played. So each track, you could play whatever.
Wow.
You just play. And it turned out to, be a great success. At the time you don't know it, but
I was gonna say, did you when you're recording it, did you think this album is gonna be?
No, but I mean, it's one of those things when everything comes together at the right time, the right musicians, the right material, the right producer, engineers at the right time.
Yes.
You can have great musicians, great time, but if you don't have everything at the right time, it doesn't work. And that just, everything seemed to be at the right time, with the right people, right music. It's just one of those things, you can't plan that, but it...
And you were, what,
17, 18, around there, yeah.
So, and you've been playing...
But before that, when I came back from Mallorca and I was playing around with Gonzalez and all that, not long after that, I also joined Johnny Nash, which he had a band, and it also featured Bob Marley. Bob Marley was part of that as well. So then I was 16 doing that, and again that was through Rebop Kwakuba, who was a great percussionist. He played with Traffic, Steve Winwood for many years, and again he recommended me for Johnny Nash. So I joined the Johnny Nash band, and I was in that for about 2 years. We toured England and America with Bob Marley singing part of it. And so there's a whole group of people. That was an experience in many ways.
I was gonna say, how old were you?
I was 16.
16
when I was
doing that.
Yeah, touring America with these guys and seeing, part of it was with Sly and the Family Stone.
Gosh.
Which is amazing. And it's supposed to be about 5 shows. I think he ended up doing 1 show and they cancelled the rest because, his late on stage, he didn't turn up. Auditioning drummers on the gig.
Oh my goodness.
So no, it was all great experience, great.
So I don't think you were home tucked up in your motel room straight after the gig then?
No.
Probably not on that gig. So
well, as I say, I was very young and innocent, so I was looking on a lot of the time.
Yeah, watching it. I mean, what was Bob Marley like? I mean, what was he like?
He was very focused, very, he knew what he wanted. He was very committed. Him and Bob were writing Johnny were writing songs together. That's what they do all night. Both of them would be in the room all night with their acoustic guitars, just writing songs and stuff. So, I think they were helping each other. And Johnny's manager was also managing Bob as well at the time, took him over and all that. So, as I said, I was very young, so I was just around it.
Yeah.
But he was, all I remember was he was very focused and knew what he wanted. And it was all reggae, and he was scary, not to me, but like when we played England, and all these young 15-year-old English girls are looking at Johnny Nash, who's all pretty and sweet pop music, reggae, but light, sweet. And then in the middle of that, Bob Marley would come on and do it, and even then, he didn't have his rasta yet, his dreadlock, but he was still wild and, take his shirt off and fall down on stage, and these girls were like, who the hell is this?
Wow.
So, it was early days for him, but then after that, then when I left the band and that stopped, then that's when he brought his band over from Jamaica with Island Records and stuff.
Yes,
so.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
and
so this was all before that, so he was setting all that up. So.
I mean, you've had a huge career, right? You've played with lots of people. Any standout moments that, years from now, when you're nearing the end of your life, you look back and you think, oh, I remember that moment, I remember that.
You know what? No. Music had its highlights, obviously tours, great tours, being part of Blow by Blow and stuff like that, playing a couple of tracks on Tommy, the film soundtrack. Yeah, stuff like that. By the time, it was just, you were just doing it. It wasn't, the standout things would be things I can't really say.
Yes.
The things which would, incriminate people and, the darker side.
Change their names, don't say who they are.
As in life, friendship. So what I do remember, and I'm still most of in contact with them, is the people that have taught you along the way. The people that have meant something to you.
Yes.
That is what, because in life, in a career, that is what matters, the people that are around you.
And are they still around?
A lot of them, a lot of people, like Phil Chen, whether he started, introduced me, and my first session was with him, which again, he reckoned, because he was already doing a lot of sessions around London. So straight away, any session he had, if he could, he'd get me on it. So we became a team, recording team, Phil Chen, Richard Bailey, blah, 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 and just stuff like that, Mick Eves, who was, he was sort of running Gonzalez, a band sax player. Again, they look after you, they got you gigs, they help you out, stuff like that,
And that it's like you say, it's like any part of life, that's what you remember.
Yeah, as I say, the highlights, you don't know the highlights until later on.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing it, you're involved in it, you're playing, you're doing whatever, so, There's also, I wouldn't say regret, but I wonder, like Blow by Blow, I never toured that album.
No.
So,
why was that?
Because at that point, I was like, I felt I was washed out as a musician, because I was doing a lot of sessions.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I felt as though I didn't have any direction as a player. I didn't have a sound as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Because, before that point, you're just playing, you're doing your thing, blah, 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 whatever, wherever. And then, because of Blow by Blow, then people, they note you, then they book you for sessions, which is cool. But then they want to start arranging you, telling you, play like this. Yes. Oh, you must sound like this. Oh, sound like Harvey May, sound like Steve Gadd. And then I'll be doing jingles. Yeah. Then I'll be doing an album of Greek music. And it got to a point where, I thought, what am I doing? I didn't enjoy it anymore. I'd hit my drums. I didn't like the sound of them.
Yeah.
And I thought, no. So, I must have been at that age, early 20s. So I just decided, right, stop all of that. It was maybe wrong. That was the wrong time, Blow by Blow. I should have done those two.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I stopped. I said, right, no tour, no this. I'm going to just start playing with my brother, my friends, start getting our own band together, which I did. Did a band, he had one band then, we didn't do much. Then we did Breakfast Band, which we incorporating Steel Pan, which was that. We were working quite a lot for a few years, had a little bit of success. And just found my love again for playing, which I lost, and direction, because of people telling you what to do all the time.
And actually, yes, okay, you didn't do that tour, but who knows, and you look back and, like you say, there's some part of you thinks, well, should you have? But maybe you wouldn't be the player today.
That's it, and I think if I did do that, I might not be playing now. If I did carry on and just do that, because very young, some people can deal with success and money or whatever, but I was earning a lot of money too in those days too, and I just stopped it, And I think if I carry on, maybe you end up an alcoholic, a drug addict, whatever, blah, 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 because, so, and my philosophy is whatever happens in your life is for you, it's right.
Yes.
Even though it might you think is a mistake or this, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing happened.
And and you make the decision for a reason. Don't you?
Exactly. So.
Would you ever like to work with Jeff Beck again? Would you ever?
Yeah, of course. He's a great guitarist. Fantastic guitarist. But again, everything has its time and place, because also musically at that time, what was happening, I liked, but then. Even his music started going more and more fusiony, like the rail fusion, which again, I didn't like that. I liked the more groove. Yes. I didn't want the as fast as possible, as complicated, non-stop. Yeah. Which is great. So my direction was right. No, I need to get back to my roots, Latin, Calypso, and not, So that also happens whereby you're not in the same musical space.
Yes.
So, but yeah, music-wise, if you're doing, if it's the right music, he's a phenomenal player.
Okay, Richard, I'm going to ask you now, my drum quest question, which is the whole reason I started this, and I've done these interviews because I love to ask drummers like you your opinion. So, what, in your opinion, makes a good drummer? What is the definition of a good drummer to you?
Okay, well, the first thing is to keep good time. That's the first thing, good feel. After that, you can have great drummers who are very simple. They don't do a lot, but they really play the song. You feel the song, and dynamically they lift the song. That is what makes a good drummer. You can have someone who's very technical, who's very rudiments player. That for me, that doesn't necessarily make a good drummer. A drummer is someone who plays music and makes it sound good and makes the musicians feel good. And I mean, all the years I've been playing, I don't think, oh, what makes me a good drummer or what, but the comments I get from people, vocalists, oh, you make it so easy for me to sing, right? Or I'm a big steel band in Trinidad, the players, they say, Richard, you're great because you always let me know where the chorus is coming or where the arrangement is coming and you're playing. So stuff like that, it's a musical thing.
That is an interesting point because, I've been talking about this whole thing about self-awareness and do people like you realise what it is that you have that makes you special, that makes you good. I mean, do like you said those things and those comments, so that is...
Well, no, because I say you're not aware of it, you don't think of it. You just, as a player, you just play. But lately, this is only recently, the last few years, I've had those comments from people. So then obviously I take it on, maybe that's why they like playing with me. It's not, I haven't become suddenly conscious or aware of what makes me, good or people like to play with me. But I've heard these comments, same with musicians. You make the groove easy, you make it easy for them to play.
Yes.
You can make it very uncomfortable, if it's jerky and this and that, or a lot of fills in the wrong place, which a lot of people do. So
you were good very quickly, you within a few years. Is that I mean, that's got to be some natural talent.
Well,
but why were you good so quickly?
Okay, well, because good is, that's people's opinions, good or not good. But so again, from the feedback and what I have sussed out, the reason I was good in the first year is because I could play steady rhythms and a variety of rhythms.
Yes.
Not just one or two, bossa nova, a bit of funk, a bit of jazz, a bit of samba, a bit of calypso, Latin, right? I couldn't do fills, I couldn't do a drum solo.
Okay.
Right? But I could do a gig. I could go and play songs.
And the rhythm.
And it would feel good.
Yeah, and was that just like, how would you hear a rhythm and then you could just translate it?
That was from growing up in Trinidad. That was from my musical background. Because playing in those bands I was talking about, those bands played everything. You played bolero, bossa nova, samba, calypso, Motown stuff.
Yeah.
Everything, Stax music. You played everything. So that was a ground, like coming to England, then I played more rock, which I didn't play in Trinidad. That was something I did, rock and blues. That was but so coming to England, then you started getting into the rock and stuff like that. But a lot of places, people, they come from an area, they might play one thing, blues only, or rock and roll only, and that's it. Whereas in Trinidad, the music was everything. We played everything, and that's why I think I could play and do gigs. And
say take a rhythm like say take the bossa nova, the rhythm. Did you have to then go on the drums and or like your percussion and work it out, or did it just kind of flow?
Yeah. No, well, the basic rhythm might come, but I'll show you for examples.
Yeah.
So basic rhythm. Simple as that. Then the drummer say, okay, instead of doing that, do just that simple change. Just I have to work that out.
You can't see me, I'm dancing here off camera. Yeah, we talked about earlier, didn't we?
So it's just simple things, that and then for example in Trinidad, a drummer who most probably worked with my brother, and the musicians in Trinidad that could read, whether they were drummers or horn players, they could read because they either came from the army or the orphanage.
Right.
So they learned to read and could play stuff. So although I was playing, gigs with my brother on organ, I literally I didn't know any rudiments.
Right.
So if I was playing, my drum fill would be, but in time. So, just simple stuff like that. So then a drummer sent a message to me via my brother. He says, tell Richard if he wants to do a fast roll, he must practice double stroke, mommy daddy.
Yeah.
So I got this message, so I started. So he must be joking. I was not going to come roll. You know, you start, you think.
And you did it?
Yeah, so, but then you keep on and then finally kind of switches it. And then suddenly you get into a roll and it's, oh yeah, you know.
So someone said practice.
Yeah.
And did you then go, right, I'm going to get this, I'm going to be at home and I'm going to do this for every day until I get it?
No, I didn't play like that. I was never like that. It was just, I was a kid, I was running around playing, having fun. It's just when I got in the kit, I'd get on here and play. But I used to play a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not studious where you say, right, 9 to whatever every day I sit down and practice. No. It's just playing for fun. You just jump and play. But you play a lot. You don't realize how much you're playing, but you just do it for fun. So it's not a studious or technical thing.
No.
You know, but it's just something you're like, oh, am I playing? I'm going to have to get this together. And paradiddle, I don't think I knew what a paradiddle was until I came to England. I got the Buddy Rich book. Then I started paradiddles and flams and, you know, roughs and stuff, different things, you know, so.
And do you practice now?
Just recently I've been practicing quite a lot. Not on the kit so much. I play every week, but just practicing on a pad. So I got some nice big heavy sticks with rubber tips, so I can practice on table. But I also practice on a pad. So I've recently started doing that just to get my hands back in, because it's been a while where you don't practice a lot. I don't practice. So, but recently I feel like playing. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
And you go through phases,
yeah,
don't you?
Yeah, you know.
And if you don't play for a while, like if you're on holiday or something and do you get, I asked this someone the other day, do you get itchy? Do you get do you want to hit something? Like, are you in the car going?
Not really, because I mean I do that anyhow. I'm always doing that.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, even not now, but years ago, that even sometimes you don't play for a long time, no practice, no nothing, you haven't been playing, and then you actually do play a gig or something, you actually play quite good.
Yeah.
You know, because even though you haven't practiced, but you're refreshed. You know, somehow you recharge and you got ideas, you do the gig and then the next one maybe not so good, then you say, right, I need to start practicing.
Okay.
But you come back with full of energy, and you can play quite well, And well, now I feel as though I need to practice, because when you're younger, you come and play, it's not a problem. But when you're older and you don't play for a while and suddenly you start hitting things and moving about, you feel it.
Yeah,
so your muscles, so it's best to keep playing, keep warm, just keep your hands active.
And before a gig, do you because this is another interesting point, how do you get in the zone for a gig, physically and mentally? How?
Well, practicing, warming up. I mean, just by practicing, you start focusing and you get your energy.
Pad.
Yeah, on the practice pad, and you need.
Yeah.
Anything, just get your hands even, balanced, warmed up. And then I like to be in a quiet place.
Not
which is
to lots
which is not always easy. You're backstage with people, but I like to be quiet, gather your thoughts. Take some deep breaths, and go on. Which sometimes when you play in a hometown or something, you got a lot of guests. And you obviously want to see them. I want to see them after the show, but some of them is before the show. Hey, let's have a drink, let's do this, and it's like, no, I need to go and warm up. I need to just go and be quiet.
Yeah.
Some people understand, some don't. It's like, what's wrong with it?
How do you sleep after a gig? Are you too buzzed to sleep?
Well, it takes me a while to wind down.
Are you a night owl? A lot of musicians are night owls.
You know what? I'm anytime, but I love dawn, morning. I love early mornings. I love the atmosphere. I just love the freshness. It's like a new dawn, a new beginning.
Yeah.
I just love the feel of it. Obviously, I like nights because it's quiet. Especially if you're working, you're doing stuff. The peace. I like the peace of it. But to be honest, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah. Who's ready? I like that. I like.
Gotta be ready anytime.
Yeah. I want to talk about who do you consider good drummers? Name some names. I mean, who are the people that you? I know that there are obvious ones that a lot of people say, but who influenced you?
Who influence or who I think is a good drummer?
Actually both. Who influenced you?
Okay, well I'll start with my influences. Obviously, the drummers that were around me in Trinidad, Meggie, guy called Maggie. I don't know his name, Maggie and Mice. And then, I mean, I was listening to Take Five, but I wouldn't say he was an influence, but I was listening to. The influences started when I came to England, the real influences, and one would be Buddy Rich with his book, because that's about the only book I used for a long time. It's just his snare drum rudiments. Then after that, Billy Cobham.
Yeah.
Billy Cobham was quite a big influence, and as well as Billy Cobham at the time, Bernard Purdie.
Yeah.
Bernard Purdie, because a lot of the music we were playing was Bernard Purdie grooves, stuff like that. Grady Tate, this is from albums I used to listen to, right? But Billy Cobham, I think, if you're talking influence-wise, Buddy Rich, rudiments-wise, but Billy Cobham changed my attitude towards drumming, because before Billy Cobham, drummers were always supporting, holding grooves. Yeah, you might do a solo, but generally, unless you're a jazz drummer or so, generally you're holding a groove and playing. Whereas Billy Cobham started playing out of the groove, going with the soloist, moving about, not just holding groove. So that influenced me where you start in all the rolls and the fast stuff, so that was a major influence. But then again, I had to do the same thing. I had to stop listening to him, because again, after a while I thought, wait a minute, I can't just follow one person. Yeah. I mean, even though I was listening to other people, another person who's a big influence on, one of my favorite drummers is Elvin Jones. Right? And I don't know if you noticed, but Buddy Rich, Billy Cobham, Elvin Jones, they're all three entirely different drummers.
Yes.
But those are the guys that influenced me, together with Bernard Purdie. I think the main influence. But then, I started listening to Steve Gadd before he was really well known over here. But then everyone went off on Steve Gadd. I refused to go off on him. I refused to study his licks and everything. I refused to study everyone. Harvey Mason's another drummer I like.
Because you wanted to be you wanted to have.
I wanted to find my voice.
Yeah,
that's why. So as much as I appreciated these guys and I was aware of them, I listened to them. I refused to just copy them.
Yes.
So, and it was scary. It was scary because you're sitting there and everywhere you go, all these drummers are sounding like Steve Gadd. And I'm not. I'm saying, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. And you're on your own.
Oh, yeah.
You're basically on your own, because before I felt, Cobham, I'm there, but now I'm on my own. I'm not following anyone. Yeah. I'm following me.
But you're taking, like you say, your influence.
But all those influences are coming in, it's coming out.
And you're making, and you're
finding my own voice.
Yeah.
Which is something which I think keeps me playing today, because people recognize my sound and playing, my style.
And how do you describe your style? Like if someone that that you're saying, oh, this is how Richard Bailey, this is his sound. Like how would?
Well, again, I don't know. I mean, I consider myself a Caribbean drummer.
Yeah.
That's my influence. That's where I'm from. I'm a Caribbean drummer. So my slant is, if I'm playing jazz, there's calypso in there. If I'm playing funk, there's calypso in there. So my swing, that's how I sort of feel things.
I think you should be called Richard Rhythm Bailey. I think that's the new slogan.
Okay, that's
yeah. I'm coining it. Okay, yeah, because that's.
Well, again, people call me Groove.
Groove, yeah.
Because I'm with all the years with Incognito and stuff and that, it's all groove. It's all about the groove. So.
Yeah.
And reggae, calypso, it's all about grooving, And when you groove, then it makes everyone feel good and happy, and then.
And making you dance, because that's what we were saying, earlier. Like you started playing when we came in on the kit, and I just started dancing. Yeah. And then I'm gonna ask him, is he a good dancer? And he said, what did you say?
That's up to him.
Yeah, that's an object. He says, I can dance, whether I'm a good dancer or not. I might not record it. I'll see if he can dance later. I'll play him something.
But I like dancing, I think I'm good for me, but I'm a solo dancer, put it that way.
Yeah.
Partner dancing is different.
Yeah, I've got another question, Richard. This is a good question that I like asking. Now you can do a gig, right, with anyone that you want. Who's going to be in your band? The dinner party list, and they can be dead or alive, right? Who's going to be your bass player? Who's going to be your guitarist, your vocalist? I didn't prepare you.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. Go on.
That's hard. I mean, bass player, straight away. Depends on the music you're playing. Literally, because there's so, I mean, just yesterday I was talking with someone, a musician, about that, and you know, bass players. There's so many great bass players, but one might be better for this than the other. But they're all good.
Yeah.
Same with drummers. You know, so yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Okay, I've got another question for you then.
Because there's too many, and each instrument there's too many.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's too many people I like playing with. So if I call this one, I'm leaving this one.
Yeah. All right.
And that's people I know and people I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's people I don't know, that's different. I'll never work with.
It is a hard question. Anyone that you haven't worked with that you want to, that you're like, I want to work with that person. I'd love to.
I'm living or.
Yeah, living.
Living, yeah. A lot of the greats, Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, people like that. You know, I'd love to play with Hendrix, Miles Davis.
Yeah.
You know, but you know what? At the end of the day, music is a living thing. And tomorrow I could go in a room and play with someone who I love playing with, who might be Joe Bloggs.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you play with someone you feel it. It's something you feel or you don't feel. You can play with people and it's good, but you don't feel it. You know. So music, but from you know, all the stuff I've heard Chick Corea doing that, yeah, obviously it'd be great to play with them. You know, Jaco Pastorius on bass. You know, there's lots of great, McCoy Tyner. You know, I'd love to play do like a really nice big band. You know, but not being a sight reader. You know, that's difficult to do. I don't do that sort of stuff. You know, I don't sight read music. But you know, but I do it in Trinidad with the steel band. You play with a big steel band. It's the same thing. You know, kind of, and it's funky music, funky calypso, soca.
Richard might be coming to a big band near you. I went and saw the Buddy Rich big band at Ronnie Scott's recently. Yeah, with
was that Dave
Weckl.
Yeah. I just saw him a few weeks ago at with Chick Corea at North Sea Jazz Festival. It was great, really great. Nathan East on bass. Yeah, really good, really good.
And I would have loved to see, but I didn't. I couldn't get down there. Was Herbie Hancock was playing a festival, I think, and with Vinny.
Vinny, okay, yeah. Well, that's good. Well, if you talk about, all right, we talked about drummers that influenced me.
Yes. Who were good drummers?
Good drummers that I like. Well, Vinny, Steve Gadd. I think Steve Gadd, out of all of them, I think Steve Gadd is the most all-round drummer for playing different styles of music, being a great reader, having a great feel, having a great sound. He's the man. Vinny, you know, he's an amazing player, you know. But there's so many. Yeah. There's so many. I could go on and on and on. Well-known drummers who aren't so well-known, they're all great. You know, great players. No, as I said, I don't want to hear someone just, whether it's a kid or a grown-up, just running around the kid. No. Great, but so what? Can you play a music? Do you play in a band? You know, what? You know. Yeah, good. As I said, anyone, if I came here every day and just practice, you know, it's not hard to do that, you know, to make a lot of noise. Yeah. You know, it's hard to make it in musical, you know, to make it sound musical and apply it to actual music, songs, you know. That
leads me to my question, which you've answered a lot of anyway, but what advice would you give to drummers, you know, young drummers or older drummers, because we all start in different times of life. What to hold dear, you know, a piece of advice or what you know, should they hold dear if they're listening to this?
Well, the one and first thing which for any musician and a lot of people don't do is listen to what you're playing. When I say listen to what you're playing, I don't mean what you're playing individually. It's a way of, obviously you have to be aware of what you're playing, but you have to listen to what you're playing with. A lot of people don't. Whether it's a bass, right, this is a riff I practice, boom, 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 they come and they play that. But you might need to adjust that. If you're listening, you might need to adjust. Same with drums. Listen to what you play. A lot of people just don't listen. They play like that. Maybe because they learn like that. Yeah. They get in the cupboard, they put their headphones on and they learn whatever they have to, and they go and they play like that. Whereas musicians from way back, you play, you listen to who you're playing with, and you play in time. That's why a lot of musicians, they play now, they're out of time or out of tune, but they're not aware of it because they're not listening.
Yeah.
They're just playing like, it's just automatic, you play. So, I mean, very important just to listen. Often people, this is the question I've been asked most by drummers. How do you know what fill to put where? And again, if you listen to the music, you will hear what fits or what gets in the way. We've all been guilty of it. When I was young, I've learned this rudiment, I want to put it in. Whether it fits or not, I'm going to put it in, But after that, you just got to listen, and you hear, even the groove. If you listen to the bass, it will tell you what to play, or suggests what you could play. But then, that's my way of approaching music. But then you get songwriters or producers who, they're going to tell you exactly what to play. Yeah. So, might be good, might not be, but if they're the right songwriter or producer, they want that. If they're good, then it'll be good, but sometimes you get it and it's not good. Maybe if you left the musician to their own devices, they'll come up with something better. So again, that's music though. And that's when I was doing the session, that's what I didn't like. Suddenly I'm playing stuff I don't like, or people are thinking, no, that's not working. Or you start the song, you haven't even got past the intro. Stop, no, can you do this? So let me play the song, let me feel it first.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. But the main thing is to listen and support what you hear.
Okay. One thing that I want to ask you is what does the next year hold for you, and what you're doing over the next year? Right.
Well, most will be I think we are again with Steve Winwood, who I'm playing with at the moment. Carnival, most of will go to Carnival in Trinidad.
When's that?
That's early in next year. That's February next year. And it's this year there have been quite a few projects which have been turned into records. I play with James Lascelles' quartet, who used to be in the Breakfast Band keyboard player. So we've just done a new album with him, so that's coming out. Snowy White, who also I've been playing with for many years, off and on, guitarist. We've just did some recordings with him, so that's going to be coming out. So hopefully maybe next year, maybe there'll be a few shows or little things to support those new projects. And just me, I haven't mentioned, the last year I've been sort of concentrating on playing steel pan.
Okay.
So I'm practicing that as well,
What's that like? Is that
nice.
Similar to drum? I mean,
well, you've got to use your hands. It's good because you got to hit notes that big, so you got to be more accurate. Some of the high notes are that big to roll on that. So you got this. You got that tiny spot to roll on, and obviously, harmony. I've got to now play notes. I'm not just hitting drums.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new ball game for me. Even though I've been hearing harmonies for years, so now I actually have to learn it on steel pan. So that's keeping me busy. Learning loads of overflow, learn these songs, I can't remember, too many chords, too many notes, but that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And obviously still drumming, as I say, I'm not finished drumming yet, so I might get serious and do some practicing and come out with some videos and different things, Because I haven't done anything like that. There's no videos of me on YouTube or anything apart from what people have posted from gigs or jams. So I might do some of my own, just record some stuff. Lessons or I don't know, just do something.
I think that's a good idea. I reckon he should do that. And are you gonna drum forever? Are you gonna keep going? I hope.
As long as I enjoy it and I'm physically able, yes. But also steel pan, as well as being good for me mentally and all that, it's less demanding than drums. So when I can't be bothered carrying a drum kit or setting it up or sweating, I can play my little steel pan, play some nice little melodies.
See, I want to see him on a steel band drum. That sounds great. I've always seen them, and
it's just such a lovely sound. It's just so nice to play, But I mean, so and again, I'm terrible with lyrics. I don't remember lyrics. I don't remember names of songs, So now to learn melodies, the ones with the lyrics, it's easier if you actually know what the lyrics are.
Gosh.
As opposed to just trying to learn the melody. If you actually remember the lyrics, then you can remember the melody.
Yes.
So, because some of it's tricky. It's, just little turns, little notes. Is it one hit on that note or two? So if you actually see the lyric, it makes it easier.
Keeps you sharp.
Yeah. So.
Well, Richard, I'm gonna come in view. I'm gonna shake his drummer hands. You see, I'm gonna come.
Yeah,
to
come
prove,
into you.
to prove that I am.
friend.
To prove that I am here, right?
Come
on, let me
Lovely.
shake these
Give me
drummers.
a
I
lovely,
have
fantastic.
so enjoyed that. Sorry, how much does this guy rock? And you haven't even heard him play because I'm going to record that in a second as well and to show you. And can I just say, Richard Bailey in the house. Respect.
Thank you, Laura.
Rock on.
Thank you. Keep rocking. Keep practicing.
I'm going to do some stuff.
So this is a straight triple, right? Shuffle.